Hey everyone, hope you are well. Top 5 things to look out for in an offer letter. Point number 1, notice period and pay. There can be multiple scenarios in lieu of which you might be asked to leave the company. We need to be aware of all these scenarios in detail, understand our liabilities and duties towards the company, also understand the liability and duties the company holds towards us. Check what notice period and pay is company giving us in case we are being asked to leave due to performance issues. Would there be a genuine performance improvement plan if in case we lack in our performance? The second scenario can be if we are asked to leave due to company issues, including but not limited to cost cutting, restructuring, your role getting redundant or no longer needed. In this scenario, it is only fair that the company gives you at least an extra month notice period with complete pay more as compared to the previous scenario. For both the above scenarios, understand in detail your obligations towards the company. As discussed in one of my previous videos on ensuring a full and final settlement, I mentioned many a times we ignore this section, which in many cases lead us to forego a notice period and pay, and in certain cases, the employer might even choose to demand an amount from you, citing business loss. Point number 2, compensation structure. What component of compensation structure comprise of gratuity? It is your right of the employers, it is the employer's right to include or not include the gratuity component while releasing an offer letter to the candidate. Commercial negotiations must always be done without this component, as given the average job tenures going drastically down, very less percentage of people become eligible to even receive this cash component. Check for flexible benefit plans, commonly referred to as FBP, in your organization. An employee centric organization generally have a diverse set of components which can be reimbursed as part of FBP. In one of the companies that I worked for, my annual FBP component was more than 5 lakh in a year, which resulted in a net tax benefit of more than 1.5 lakhs for me, and thus more cash in hand. What is your basic salary in the overall compensation? The more the basic, the more the tax benefit exemptions you can claim, including but not limited to your HRA deductions, corporate NPS, LTA, leave travel assistance, and so on. Lastly, it is cardinal to know what value of ESOPs have been included, but the value of ESOPs in silos does not really matter, and a moot point, so to say. We must know what value of ESOPs have been given at what company valuation, and even before that, are you being given a particular value of ESOP or a particular number of ESOPs? How would ESOPs be vested? In my opinion, yearly vesting in exchange for a reduced cash component right now is unfair, and the candidate may opt to negotiate for quarterly vesting in such a scenario. Point number 3, joining versus appointment letter. Many companies opt to give a very lenient joining letter, but on the day of our joining, the appointment letter, which is shared with you, would be completely one sided and would benefit the company in entirety without taking any of your interest in mind. This may come as a surprise to you, but tell me in the comment section if you have ever faced such a dilemma. This leaves candidate backed into a corner, as generally till now you have no way of going back to your previous employer. You have already resigned from the last company, and efforts might be in place to look out for your replacement in your previous employer. it is important that the terms and conditions in the joining letter should be an exact replica of the appointment letter. Ask the recruiting manager and the HR team that you would like to review both the joining letter and the appointment letter and understand what you're signing up for. It is fair and it is your right to know this. Check for employee management policies in the appointment letter, including but not limited to employee business expenses, travel, attendance management, flexible working hours, holiday and leave benefits, dress code, non compete clause, which might be important for mid senior people as post multiple years of experience in a singular domain. You can't switch to a new domain and start from scratch. Point number 4, probation. Many companies will place you on a 3-month probation, which can be extended to infinity, to entirety, up to a company's discretion. And during this probation, the company can choose to let you go without any warning, any notice period, as per their discretion, without considering your interest at all. In my opinion, this clause does not make much sense, particularly for mid senior positions and above, assuming that a good employer invests a lot of time as an employee evaluation exercise with multiple interview rounds and a thorough background check. If both candidate evaluation and for the position that needs to be done has been done sincerely, there is no justification of just letting the employee go without taking any responsibility or cost upon the company. Ensure you review this section very religiously and come to terms with your future employer on a mutually acceptable norm. Point number 5, key performance indicator. Generally, your KPIs won't be part of your joining or appointment letter. One of the reasons for the same is that many a times candidates do a lot of work which is not even mentioned in the job description, and companies at their will and business needs might shift you to a different function and a role, but it makes sense to deeply understand the top 5 things you would be doing on a daily basis and how will your performance be tracked in these 5 areas, in these 5 things. Who will define the KPIs both quantitatively and qualitatively? How and who will track your KPIs? It makes good sense to have all these things well documented during the evaluation and the interview process. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day. If this video helped you and motivated you, share the same in your network and follow me on YouTube and LinkedIn for more such content. Thank you.